I'm Passion DEEZ, and I'm sat here with Sam and Lola, two of the co-founders from Amsterdam queer bar, Pamela. Today we'll be sat down on behalf of Patta and Lynk&Co to discuss the power of a safe space, how to grow queer communities, and how their adventures into this business has been. And I think maybe we can just get right into it. I'm curious, how did Pamela come about? What gap did you see in Amsterdam?
I could talk about myself. I was a young queer person, and then I went to lots of bars and stuff, and then I noticed like, oh, this is not really the vibe that I like. It's not really feeling my community. It's much lesbian or gay, but I didn't feel fitting. And then I roll in the club life, and I found out like lots of clubs, parties and stuff has a more queer vibes, and it's like mixed with girls and guys and everything in between, so that I really enjoyed. And then I thought, there are no bars, and it would be nice to have that. You can go to this vibe every time you want.
Well, so creating a very social environment was very key to why you wanted to start your own adventure. And Sam, what about you?
Yeah, I suppose it was really, we saw this gap in the market of like, where is everyone together, really building a community. You always have these bars where it's like, just for men, and even just for men, it's even split up with different types of men. Like, there was no space where it was like for everyone to come together and hang out and actually be together under one roof. And we managed to create that here in Pamela. Yeah.
Just to be clear, it was also not really like, a gap in the market, like business-wise. It was really like, we needed something like that. I want to have something like that.
Yeah, and I think it's very beautiful that you've been able to, flourish within the community. And you speak a lot of minorities that weren't represented within the queer communities within the city. And I think it's very beautiful that you've been able to combine a lot of these communities here under this roof.
Thank you.
So let's get into how Pamela actually gets started from this point where you see we're not represented in certain spaces, or we want more diversity within our own communities. How did you really get started, and how did you come together?
It's really difficult to get a place in Amsterdam, like a location, because they have some permits on buildings, like horeca permits, and they're not a lot. So there are more people who want to open things than their places. So you can, if you're like newbie, we were, you cannot get a nice location. So you need to talk with people a lot. So I'm like I like to club. So I talked to a lot of people about the concept, and then maybe there was someone who knew people who knew. So then I met Carlos in a club, and Carlos Valdez is one of our co-owners. And he is like a long time in the club scene. He's a DJ, he organized events. And he said, hey, maybe I know someone who knows someone. And then it starts, and then Sam came along.
We were just two real hard workers who, we were really good, really good bartenders. And we kind of have this concept and dream and kind of vision of how you think it's going to be. But when it logistically comes to like, I don't know, having to go, oh my God, we were having to go to like Praxis and buy stuff. And then we were like buying like the wrong things because we all of a sudden having to learn what all of these different building things were. And that was a journey.
Yeah.
It sounds like it's been quite a journey so far. So you launched in 2020, but obviously there's a long road before you can even open your doors. How long did that take? Like from ideation until getting your name on the door?
Yeah, I think in our case it went quite fast.
Yeah.
Like from making the concept, that took a while. We just did it and it's like almost a lifetime concept.
Yeah, I think
for
it
that.
changes.
But then when we get the building, it was only I think 8 months or something, and then we did lots of the building ourselves. So we were working from I think 9 in the morning till 3 in the night together, and we didn't know each other that much at that moment. So we
got to know each other then.
Yeah.
You wouldn't believe it, but a lot of the tiling actually upstairs was done by me and Lola.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Till really late in the night, we're here with Lola cutting the tiles and me putting them onto the wall. Yeah.
Well, I think it definitely shows that you guys come up with great concepts. Like, I think something that really makes Pamela stand out is it's more about a good product and a great environment than any sort of marketing on top, you know? So how did you come up with the visual identity? Because I know you have a background in design and you both have backgrounds in horror.
Yeah.
How did you collaborate on this?
We actually had someone else do it for us in the beginning. We didn't do
The design, no?
No, but the first the branding of Pamela in the beginning, it was all, we actually had it done by another graphic designer, and slowly I took over that side of it and we changed it. But I think everything with Pamela has slowly, because of the stopping and starting of Corona, we kind of had to reinvent ourselves so many times, and that also came over in the design work. You see also a change in how it looks, from the design, from the graphics online to how the bar looks inside.
Yeah, but you were talking about graphics, but how it looks, the bar, we did ourselves from the beginning.
Oh, yeah. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's like it was a combination of two really different tastes. Like I was more like a raw. If I wanted this to look like a horse. How do you call
Stables.
it? Horse stables with a lot of medals and stuff. And he's like more of the colors and more. So I was the whole time. I let him in the end do the most of the design work because he's better in that. But I was saying all the time, not too clean, not too clean, not too.
Yeah.
Not too much of a. Can be a little bit more raw. Like that was the combination.
Yeah, 100%. And I think even with every lockdown, we slowly change things. And yeah, how the bar looks now is nothing how it looks when we opened it. Yeah. It was. I think it was actually way clean. It was way cleaner in the beginning.
Yeah.
And I think that's also nice because I think it still is changing. I think probably will continue to change. I think that's exciting. It's like an ongoing little art project.
And I think that speaks a lot to the beauty of collaboration. And you see this a lot on the Pamela menu as well, which through your great chef and your great bar team, you've been able to create a menu that also fits your visual identity. Yeah. Who really put their hands on the wheel there? Who was the person behind the cocktails and who was the person behind the menu?
That's definitely the menu, and lots of credit for her. Marika is our chef. She was with us from the beginning. Before the beginning, she helped also design the kitchen, like how it has to be. Yeah. And she didn't even know what it's gonna be, but we talked with her. We tasted her food somewhere else, and then we asked her, and we spit our concept, and without knowing if it's actually gonna be something, she believed in us, and because there were no chefs to find at that moment, so, and for her, she could pick any job, and because she believed in us and our vibe, she stayed and she sticked, even though the Corona situation, and she does the design. She designed the menu, and she knows our concept, and she does everything.
Yeah, she's an absolute superstar. She really, she was one of the backbones of this, one of the backbones of the company, and now actually, her and Jason are going to be doing a pop-up here, and they're going to take over and take it to the next level. So that's also, it's Marika Haring and Jason from the Indigo Kitchen. They will be doing a pop-up here, and it's going to be some really exciting foods. It's going to be a creative space for them to experiment and make some really cool stuff. So I think that's also nice to be able to provide. Pamela is able to now provide a space just for them to really build another business within our business to really push the boundaries.
Wow. I think this idea of collaboration really speaks to what Pamela is as a character. You know, you have a very bright plant-based menu. You've offered a space for creatives all across the city. Can we talk a few about ideas that went behind who or what Pamela is? Because online you perceive Pamela to be a person. Who is Pamela, and why did you end up with the name Pamela?
The whole concept of Pamela actually is that she is everybody and she is no one. And I think that was the embodiment of the community. That's what Pamela really is. We're trying to find a name, and we eventually found one in a book. And that was Pamela, and it was the first name where we thought we both agreed on and really, really liked. And there was loads of different activists and feminists and people working, doing really good things called Pamela within the company, within the community. And we'd had a meeting with a friend of ours to do this brainstorming. And we were then like, yeah, it would be really handy because then we could also talk from out of a person instead of it being kind of like cold marketing. It could be warm and fun and sexy, and Pamela could really have a voice. The tone of voice is literally a voice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think you have like it's a name like a sex worker name, like it's old Amsterdam name, like a little bit taggy, and it's also like drag queen name. Like it's a sort of it has a vibe, I think.
Yeah.
Pamela. Yeah.
Yeah, and I think the fact there was an activist called Pamela as well also resonates in the projects that you're taking on now. You recently released a scarf as well as a way to raise funds for the issues that are going over in Syria at the moment. Is there other aspects of activism that are part of Pamela's identity?
I think we are expanding on that now at the moment. We have another series of events coming up called Pam Wide Open, curated by Queen, who's been working here for quite some time. And we're now, I think, in the beginning of the company, we really wanted to give back to the community and focus on what was actually important to give back. And we had such a long period of starting that we never got time to actually focus on that. And I think that's really now our focus to really give back to the community and things that we believe in.
I think that's amazing, and especially you speak of like Queen, who's been here forever, same with your head chef as well. Like, how is it being part of your community but also being able to provide work and spaces for your community to express? Because there's been drag shows here, there's DJ sets. What service do you really provide your community? Because it's important to have a platform within your own city.
I feel like what I see, what I like, they feel really at home, and they support each other a lot, and also they also do lots of things outside of Pamela, and it's like it's a good place to network and grow. In the beginning, you also saw people coming in here looking a bit like this, and then during their time working here, they start like flourish and like feel comfortable dressing like how they like to dress and stuff like that. I think it would be nice to create this kind of bubble in different kind of situations like we do now on festivals and stuff. I think it's nice to get your bubble in different locations.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. And I think the word safer space gets thrown around a lot across everywhere. And I think for the first time in my life, I really started to really see that here and see people letting their guard down. And I think that is one of the things that just really made me want to just keep going, was seeing that happen. I think it's one of the most important things.
Well, let's speak on safe spaces and how you guys are able to have such a safe space. How do you regulate creating a safe space as well as maintaining it? When did you see certain triggers where like, okay, we have to work harder there to keep the space safe?
I don't know if it's a safer space. Like, we try to make it safe, but yeah, you don't know if it's safe for everyone. So that's to be clear. But I think we do it with we have a door policy. Where we try to filter a bit, like, hey, are these people who are coming here for Pamela and to enjoy Pamela, or are they just people coming by
who see a pretty bar?
Who just see a pretty bar or just don't know the concept and then don't know how to behave. And So yeah, that's we try to filter in the door policy, and if someone is already inside and yes, and act not open, act like not not nice. Yeah, we are really easy to just kick them out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I think that speaks a lot to who the space caters for, you know? I think we would like to speak a little bit more about this space that you've been able to create here and how people can really be allies here. Because when you have queer spaces, it is designed for the queer community. And a lot of people would like to be allies. How is the importance for you for a queer space to exist in the city? And what experiences have you had that made you want to create this space?
I personally had a experience which I do explain to people quite a lot, to explain what this space means, is I was in another bar, and it was a straight bar. And I was actually there on a date, because obviously I'm not going to date someone in my own bar, so, unfortunately. So we were there, and the date's going really well. I lean in and I kiss the guy, and then all of a sudden I hear, "Oi!" And we both jump, and I turn around, I see the rest of the bar's looking at us. It wasn't actually aimed at us, it was aimed at a bartender, but from that moment on, we felt no longer safe in that space. So we awkwardly just paid and left and went somewhere else. So then when I'm explaining it to people why we try to keep the space queer is because these spaces are so limited. There aren't many of these spaces that, for instance, if we didn't have a door policy and we allowed everyone that walked by to come in here, all of a sudden, say for instance, somebody else from any part of our community was in the bar, and there was it was predominantly dominated in here with straight people, then maybe they would get that same feeling that I had when I was in that bar. And for me, then we've kind of lost the whole point of the bar, because it was supposed to give you a space to feel completely, that you didn't need to worry about, like, if you're with someone that you're going to hold their hand and is that safe for me to do here? Are we sitting too close? Can I kiss this person here? I just wouldn't want that. The whole point of this actually very small bar, it's this one small space in Amsterdam that we could have for ourselves. And I think that definitely, like, it doesn't exclude our allies coming in here. We definitely want that, but I think some people need to understand that there is a difference between being an ally and somebody who just during Gay Pride does a rainbow on their cheek and then runs around getting drunk with a load of gay guys because they're so much fun.
Yeah, and people who say, like, no, if we say, yeah, you're aware that we are a queer bar, yeah, I'm okay with it. I'm okay with queers. Like, it's a way, or being an ally and know about the community, and also actually in the community, then people just say are okay with queers, right? Like, that's a bit of the difference, because you know a queer, or like you think it's fun. As a girl, they really like to be in a queer bar because there's no guy hitting on you. That's a different. That's a different. That's not an ally. An ally is you understand the queer community, you stand up for the queer community, you speak out. Like, you have to be a bit activistic.
Yeah, and I think another prime example of that is during Pride last year on the Saturday, there was a girl attacked by an Uber driver. And a few days later, on the Wednesday, the Pride was on Saturday. On the Wednesday, there was a protest about this. Where were all of those people that were running around the city thinking it was all fun and getting drunk with us? Yeah. That was the moment you needed to be there.
Yes.
Because that is actually why we were doing this. This is why Pride exists. It began as a riot, and it was to fight for rights and everything that we now have today, and still have to keep fighting for. Even on Pride, this poor girl got attacked in a cab. And I think that was really kind of a little bit, when we were at the Homo Monument for the protest on the Wednesday, I was really looked around me like, where are all the allies now? This is something that matters. Yeah. This is not just a party. Yeah, and that's what I think. I think that if people are going to be that ally, they either need to be with you on the moments that count, not just the moments that are just fun to be around, and they need to be contributing something to this community.
Yeah, and I do think probably a lot of these people who are present at Pride consider themselves allies, but you know, I think there's a lot of importance to know when you're occupying space and actually being self-aware enough to know, okay, this isn't a cosplay for these people. I can't just turn up and put the rainbow on my face.
Yeah.
So how best can someone who's not inherently already part of the queer community support the queer community? Like, how have you created a space for these people to know what's expected of them when they're in queer environments? And
I would definitely say with here, it is I think all people in the queer community are aware of like going into another space and then for different parts of their lives, all of a sudden having to make themselves smaller because of safety, genuinely because of safety, and to not get noticed. And all of a sudden, now when straight people are coming into this space, the shoe is on the other foot, and it is their moment to have to do that. And for some people, I think that can be... For some people, they've never been said no. They've never had to make themselves smaller inside a space. So for them, it can be quite an alien experience for them. But I think the importance of people understanding that when they come into our space, it's time for them to be quiet and not to take up the space, the physical, in a small bar like this, physical and metaphorical space. So it's like also being too loud and things like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and people think like sometimes it's nice to give those compliments and stuff, but you have also people coming in saying like, "Oh my God, you're so beautiful!" Like to Sammy, for example, "Oh, can I have a kiss?" And like, it's so like, take it a little bit down, just chill, and don't act like we are the people who work here are like sort of. Artists, like famous kind of people, are like Sam is just a person, and you don't have to ask her to give a kiss, to give a kiss, or like a queen all the time. Oh my God, I love how you look, and like oh my God, it's just you're not the only person who does that. Like
it sounds almost like a caricature of queerness when a lot of people are in these environments for the first time. They're thinking of the gay best friends trope that you used to see on TV all the time. And it's kind of having a level of self-awareness enough that, okay, what I'm going through right now is probably what every queer person's experienced when they walk into every straight bar that's always been in whatever cities I've lived in. And I think it's very important to be an ally for the right reasons, because not necessarily all people within queer communities are allies of each other. I think there's a certain protest aspect to being queer, where you are accepting of everybody, not just the queer people that fit under your umbrella.
Yeah, that's also what I wanted to say. We now talk a lot about straight people, but we also say the same thing to gay people, like or lesbians. Like it's not that Pamela is a gay bar. Or it's not about only about sexuality. It's like you have lots of old school gay guys who also don't respect other people from the queer community, and the same. They are also not our customers. We also don't want them fucking up our vibe.
And when it comes to intersectionality, it's something that you guys have very much been able to do by having such diverse programs and activities within your walls and beyond. Can we talk a little bit about taking your community outside of the Pamela walls? What was it like to have your first festival stages last year?
Well, it was interesting. The first festival stage was on a big festival. I noticed we had the stage and we felt really free on the stage, but when we stepped outside of the stage, we brought the whole team and lots of other people from the community to dance on the stage. And then there was a moment that I suddenly said, "Hey, you're free to just walk around and do your own things. And I noticed everyone came back all the time in our backstage area. And then I was asking, like, hey, like, there are performers, like big artists you can see. And they said, like, yeah, I don't feel quite comfortable. And it was true. Like, people were, you were like really strange people on that festival. So
I think sometimes people think we're not an act, that you can just that with all of the big changes that are happening in the world. Sometimes I think that can sometimes happen. You know, like all of a sudden it's like the queers being hired in as an act, and it needs to actually be a space that is making a real change. Right?
Yeah, I think it was really good what you said, like on the Patta party. Like, you have to pick, like you want to be you want to be a place that that people can see more, and you wanna be this bubble on festivals, but you also have to think to choose wisely, because you're not a token. So the festival has to really want to change and then really do something about also like the people they hire, and like not only the acts. So that we have to pick carefully and better.
I think it speaks a lot to this concept of performative allyship, where a lot of brands and big festivals will approach you because you are there to queer up their brand and make it super accessible to this audience that they never had before. And something that I personally struggle with a lot is, I think a lot of people always approach you because you're an outsider and they want to look like outsiders. Yeah. But realistically, there's so many minorities that we are the majority at this point. And this is where queerness and intersectionality really holds us all together. Is if we all support each other, we're not going to have to hold those people's hands no more. I think it was really beautiful that festival, let you bring 20 dancers, you had Erica Badu on the stage, but then as soon as the curtain goes down, where's the space they provided for the community then? It was something that you kind of have to struggle with, and I think we're all trying to work out what is a healthy balance of taking these resources that are offered to us and using them for the right reasons.
It's all meant, the thing is, that's the worst thing, it's meant from the right place, but sometimes it just isn't executed in the right way. And I think you see that across in many different companies, in different sectors. So people are trying, but sometimes people are maybe not having internally the right people to then steer that to actually achieve the goal that is set out in the beginning. I think that does take real work.
I think as quite a young brand, you guys have only been here for 3 years. I think these are learning moments, and you do seem to keep constantly developing. Can you speak a bit more about your team and how they play a big role in what you do at Pamela?
Yeah, I think like what Sam said before, Pamela is just changing all the time, and it also changed because the team we have. Like, for example, now Queen is creating a Pen Wide Open. Then Adam is the manager now, and he has also his own vision. Then we have now 2 of the dolls working here. They give also a big of a vibe, and they also bring their own part of the community here, and it gets now this nice blend. Then we have like Shanti, who comes from the ballroom scene, and like now we have Mathieu. She is starting drag. She's gonna do some drag shows here, and I think it's nice that the team also has so much to bring, and that gives Pamela also a form.
Yeah, I think it's nice that everyone has their own thing outside of Pamela. So it's also like what they do next to Pamela, because I think that was really, for our vision, something really important was like, it's not just about one person, it's like what is the whole picture? What are they doing outside of Pam? And I think that creates a really nice team, because it's really, everyone's doing such really cool, nice things. It's really exciting.
Yeah, I think one very beautiful thing about your team is they've been able to come with you, and now you're 3 years in. I think you've finally been open for a year straight. So how has the business changed since COVID-19, and where is it going next?
I think we both stepped into this with a vision of how Pamela was going to be, and a vision of Pamela and how it was going to look and everything. And I don't think I can say what my wishes would be, but I don't think really we can guess, because it's just changed so much throughout the whole. It's evolved and it keeps evolving.
Yeah, the main thing is like our location is quite nice, but it is in a neighborhood, and we have from the beginning we have so much trouble to keep good contact with the neighbors, because they will always hear us and they were always complaining. But it will be nice to have a spot, like we're looking at a pop-up terrace for this summer that we can welcome more people. And because now it's like lots of times too full, so yeah, we cannot welcome everyone. And also, yeah, like what we're talking about, we're gonna host some stage, we're gonna do some parties. We have Queer Pride and Pride this year. That are two different kind of thing. At Pride, not every part of the queer community get like their space there. So now they broke it up, and now you have Queer Pride and Pride. So we will do some things at that events. That will be nice. One free party.
We're working together with Black Pride and with the Trut and with Barrio, and we're going to make an event with Queer Pride, which is going to be really fun.
Well, I think it's really beautiful that you have support from your neighbors, not necessarily the people living next door, but the businesses that are catering for more diverse communities in your neighborhood.
Yeah.
The three of you coming together is almost like a superpower.
Yeah,
you know?
it's really coincident, and I'm quite happy with that. I was bummed about the neighborhood, but we have like this three queer places that are on their own vibe, and in this area. So
In
yeah,
literally this block.
yeah. So I'm hoping to do a sort of winter festival also with them. Like we program things in the Trut, in Barrio and Pamela, and you can walk around. I think there will be lots of collaboration with them. Also hoping for other collaboration, making some nice outfit with Patta, maybe.
Yeah!
That's the dream, right?
No, but I think that's really, one of the the nicest things to do is collaborating with people. And I think we're doing that with the rest, the other three businesses here is just really nice. I think it makes it more fun. Yeah.
And I also like to say to all the queer artists, like we are a space, we are an open space. You can use it. Like it's for the community and also by the community. So we have a location. If you want to do something at Pamela, just DM us and there is a space.
You know, what is the best way for people to get in touch with Pamela?
Or Instagram. And if anybody else is listening with a really big building that wants to give it to Pamela, woo, hit us up.
You know, it's still a young business, but you've come so far in the first 3 years.
Yeah. We're stretching our legs, but we're going to be running.
Yeah.
Well, I think, you know, a lot of our audience would have definitely learned a lot from your adventures into opening up a queer space. And, you know, I think Pamela leads a great example because you lead by example, you know? I think a lot of people can learn how to build their own communities through the challenges and creativity that you guys have gone through in these last 3 years. And I think them having the resource to get in touch with you to do their own exhibitions here, to perhaps even join part of your team is a beautiful way to expand this beautiful queer family and community that you've created here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also think gemeente Amsterdam can do a little bit more because we have this privilege to have had a bunch of money, but I think it's really, really difficult to do this without money. And I think there are lots of people in Amsterdam who can do this and do things, really nice things, but there is no space for it.
Well, I hope the space that you have created can keep expanding and can definitely showcase what is possible.
Yeah.
And with support from the gemeente and support from your community, I really hope that this can grow exponentially forever, you know. Not even in
you,
a business
Passion.
way, just as a creative space.
Yeah.
Thank you, Passion. Thank you for your support from day one.
Yeah.
Because you are our first DJ. You are always
Yeah.
DJing, hang, and support us in everything. Thank you so
thank you very
much.
Well, thank you guys for this conversation, and yeah, hope you have a beautiful rest of your day.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Too.
Bye bye.